The first time I met Brian, we were on a family cruise, and I knew as soon as she met him, I said to my sister-in-law, I think she's going to marry this guy. And they spent 7 days of the cruise together, inseparable, and every weekend thereafter they were together. And here we are today, 5 years later, celebrating their love.
People ask, what makes a great wedding? And to me, there's only one thing, it's the people. And especially the family you get to share it with. And those of you who know Terry and Tom, you already know what wonderful people they are and what a terrific family they have. And Maureen and I couldn't have handpicked a nicer family to share the day with. And we look forward to sharing all of their events with you guys in the future.
You meet guys on the cruise, you get off the cruise, you think that's it, but the next day he was over her house and he never left. He never left after that, and we knew it. We knew it from the beginning. We knew it from the beginning that she was the one for him.
For those who don't know, Brian and Alex met on a cruise, and it was a family cruise for both of them. And for me, being on a boat with 5,000 other people, and every second of the day is a social event, I was a little out of my comfort zone. And then the first night, your daughter meets Magic Mike. So I woke up that morning and I was like, wow, it doesn't get any better than this.
He happened to meet this girl, and he called her the girl of his dreams right off the bat. It was kind of love at first sight, as far as I can see, because it was her from then on.
Alexandra hasn't changed much in the past 20 years. When I look at her, I still see the smart, crazy, fun 6-year-old I met that day. We've been through it all together. Even when we separated to go to different schools, nothing changed. For years, Alexandra and I fantasized about our future husbands. At young ages, we would run around her backyard with our plastic Jessica Simpson fake engagement rings, pretending we were marrying celebrities or imaginary boys. I always wanted her to find her Prince Charming, since she is truly a princess. I'm happy to stand up here today and say that I 100% feel that she has found her Prince Charming in Brian.
He's friendly, he's caring. I think he's a thoughtful young man, and every time we get together, we don't see them too often, but he makes it a point to be very attentive, and he's just a very nice young man.
I'd like to start out tonight by thanking the parents of both the bride and the groom. The four of you are excellent role models for Brian and Alex. The combined 72 years of marriage. It takes a lot of love and dedication, but as the four of you have proven evident, it's easy when you have the right person. And Alex and Brian, I believe that you are going to show the same thing. It's going to be very easy. You found the right person.
Willing to help each other. I think that's the most important. One of them can't just go his own way, more or less, and just sit in the corner and read the newspaper or something. You have to work together from time to time. It doesn't mean that you have to be holding hands 24 hours a day. You just have to respect each other, and the time you are together, you have to recognize each other and show affection.
And hold on to that love. I'd like to see them loving each other, having several children, and having a good family life together, and things working out well.
Over the years, I've gotten to know Brian, and I've gotten to know Brian and Alexandra as a couple. And after all this time, I still see the twinkle in her eye when he walks in the room. I still see the sweet gestures they show each other when they think no one else is looking. I see the love I've always wished and hoped my best friend would get one day. Brian, thank you for fulfilling that wish for me.
Brian and Allie, you know, I love you and thank you for making me a part of everything from when you were a little girl up until now. And you know how much I love you. I feel like you're my daughter. Brian, I feel like you're my son now. And I just hope that from this day forward, everything just keeps on going the way it's been since we were little.
I told Brian a long time ago, I said, look, like anything special, she's a lot of work, but she's worth it. And no one knows that better than me, you know? I love you, I'm so proud of you, and I can't be happier for you guys today. So here's to a bright future and a wonderful life.
She was a tough kid, but very loving, and she had a mind of her own, and she always knew what she wanted and how to get it, and I love her for that type of personality that she has.
At least it's not raining right now. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I think we're good until tonight.
Yeah.
She's just so adorable. I think she's a lovely young lady. Again, she seems to be quite caring. And that's an important quality to have. You have to like people and show that love. And I think she certainly has it.
You're the most kind-hearted, loving, and caring person ever. I pray to God that I never have to go to work without my packed lunch. Because it reminds me that the hardest day is still the best day because I have you in my life. Oh my God. You are my best friend, and I cannot wait to finally call you my wife. You will always be Minnie, and I'll always be your Mickey. Brian. Yeah. Well, now that my makeup is completely off.
Brian is very kind, nice, a little timid, was kind of shy as a kid growing up, wasn't as aggressive as the older boys. Just even playing football, they all were a little crazy. He's always been a kind soul.
Dear Brian, I can't believe our wedding day is finally here. I've been dreaming of this day my whole life, and you complete that dream. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. You're my soulmate, my best friend, my everything. Our life together in Florida or wherever we end up next is something I cherish. Becoming Mrs. Brian Hall will be one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Every single day that I spend being your wife, I will realize how blessed I am to live such an amazing life. I can't wait to officially start our happily ever after. I love you forever and always. See you soon. Love always, Alexandra.
Yeah, exactly. Twins. I'll make it, bro. It looks like mine.
When I saw her bouquet, there was a little charm that was given to her. Her grandmother had passed away several years ago, and one of her cousins had made a charm of the grandmother, and she had it tied to her bouquet. And that was a special moment because we felt, although she's not here today in person, she's here in spirit and love.
Can I write them down?
I think she looked absolutely stunning in her dress, and to see her and as a mom, to remember her as a little girl. I remember her in a communion dress and christening dress, and here it is, I'm seeing her today in her wedding dress, and I think she was a beautiful bride.
It's the taste of spring, you and me on the most ordinary day, and you and me, this is
Oh my God, you look absolutely beautiful.
I love you.
You look absolutely gorgeous.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
cry.
God, I love that dress. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. You look beautiful.
I love you.
Can I tell you the names of the people in my face?
They'll definitely, I think, have a couple of kids in 10 years. And right now they're in Florida, so maybe they'll be back here because she comes back and forth a lot. She definitely misses her family. She's close with my daughters. She misses them. And I think once she has a baby, then she's going to want to be where we all are, just to raise the baby like they were raised. Her and her brother were raised with my kids and her other two cousins, and we were always close.
You and me on the most ordinary.
She would just like her kids to be raised with Brian's family's kids, our family's kids, because that's how she is. She's very family oriented.
Brian and Alexandra, the church shares your joy and warmly welcomes you, together with your families and friends, as today in the presence of God our Father, you establish between yourselves a lifelong partnership. May the Lord hear you on this your joyful day. May He send you help from heaven and protect you. May He grant you your heart's desire and fulfill every one of your prayers.
Fire burns down and the embers slow, but I never get cold when it's you I hold.
Our coming together to celebrate this wedding of this wonderful couple gives us the opportunity, with the Word of God and with the sign or sacrament that Jesus gives us, that is marriage, to hear fully and clearly and beautifully what we believe about marriage. We believe that when this couple, Brian and Alexandra, stand before the altar and exchange their consent, that they are a sign, a sacrament of a deeper reality. And that is the relationship of Jesus with all of us.
'Cause when I met you, I met a universe. I just wanna be your morning light. And the sun come up.
When this couple stands before the altar and Brian says, "I take you, Alexandra, as my wife," and Alexandra says, "I take you, Brian, as my husband," they become a living and a real sign of the relationship that Jesus has with every one of us. And so likewise, their marriage to each other is a marriage that is forever, forever. And they're called to be faithful to each other. Only one man and only one woman for one another.
a wonderful thing to have Brian in the family. We loved him from day one, and we feel like he's just going to add so much. He's a kind, humble person, and we're so happy that my daughter found him.
He comes from a big family, and you know, she wanted that. He has a lot of brothers and sisters, and now they all have kids. She loves kids. I just became a grandmother, and she loves the baby. She can't get enough of him, and you know, I think they'll probably have a family soon, and she just likes being a part of that. You know, and his family's great. They just accepted her, and it's just so nice.
I think sometimes marriage could be hard, but you got to work together and love one another and trust in each other. And I think they'll have a happily ever after that they've seeked.
I, Brian,
take you, Alexandra,
take you, Alexandra,
to be my wife.
to be my wife.
I promise to be faithful to you
I promise to be faithful to you
in good times and in bad,
in good times and in bad,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love you and to honor you
to love you and to honor you
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
I, Alexandra, take you, Brian, to be my husband.
Take you, Brian, to be my husband.
I promise to be faithful to you
I promise to be faithful to you
in good times and in bad,
in good times and in bad,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love you and to honor you
to love you and to honor you
all the days of my life.
all the days of my life.
Alexandra,
Receive this ring
receive this ring
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
In the name of the Father,
For Brian and Alex, who have become one in Christ and one with each other in the holy sacrament of marriage, may they always remain faithful to the Lord and be a sign of his love for the church.
and of the Holy Spirit.
And of the Holy Spirit.
For all married couples who have given themselves over to one another as Christ gives himself over to the church, may they know the grace of a faithful and fruitful love all of their days.
Blessed the husband of a good wife, twice lengthened are his days. A worthy wife brings joy to her husband, peaceful and full is his life. A good wife is a generous gift, bestowed upon him who fears the Lord.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It's not jealous, it's not pompous. It's not inflated, it's not rude. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails.
All right. Now onto the meat and potatoes of my speech. 1 second. I'm just kidding. That's not my speech. That's Brian's from my wedding. Brian's speech was so long. Kayla and I have celebrated our 2-year anniversary. She's 8 months pregnant. The moon eclipsed the sun, and he's still giving me his best man speech.
Sorry. I can't stop laughing.
We got the same exact card for each other.
Are you kidding? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my God, we wrote the same exact style too.
Thank you for your card. I cried just as I read it.
I don't know what got me better, the book or the card.
Oh, you like that little book?
We got the same card.
I know. I said that right away.
one